As an artist, I really enjoy traveling because, of course, seeing new things and new places really inspires me. I would actually like to travel more, but for different reasons right now, I just can't. So I came up with a plan. I am going to virtually visit the cities where my subscribers live to get new ideas for my sketchbook. First, I'm going to start by doing some online research to get a feel for the place. But then I'm going to jump on to a call with one of my subscribers because we all know there's nothing like having a local show you around, and in my case, to help me capture the essence of a place. It's a great plan so far, but we all know when traveling, things can happen. So that's why I created a wheel of mishaps that is gonna dictate how I create one of my pages today. I have one more thing that I want to do to wrap up my virtual traveling, but I'll tell you about that one later because right now I just want us to pack our virtual bags and get creative. I got a new sketchbook for this new series, and because it will be a special sketchbook, I decided to start by customizing the cover. This customization took me a long time, so I actually made a short video if you want to see the details. If you do, pause this video and go check it out now because I'm going to spoil this cover in 3, 2, 1. Here it is. It's inspired by a passport, of course, and how I would customize it if I could actually paint your passport, which you can't. Don't do it. It would be considered as damaged, and you cannot travel with a damaged passport, not even slightly damaged. For the first page, I created a washi tape border and chose watercolors because I wanted flowy organic lines to represent the natural beauty of our first location. And that location is Grand Junction, Colorado. Yes, we're visiting gorgeous Grand Junction thanks to Ryssa, one of my lovely subs who kindly suggested her hometown to me. I've never been to Colorado, so I started by doing some research online to get more info about our destination, and I was instantly impressed about the beautiful landscapes and views surrounding Grand Junction. I was really taken back by learning about the nature's trifecta surrounding the area. First, you have the Colorado National Monument that I found out has been often referred as a mini Grand Canyon. Then you have the Grand Mesa, which is the world's largest flat-top mountain with more than 500 square miles and over 300 lakes. What? And then you have Rattlesnake Arches, over 35 canyon arches within a mile of each other. I was amazed with the photographs I saw and all of the amazing outdoor activities you can try on every season. And all the mountains, rocks, trails, waterfalls, lakes, everything looks so beautiful. My hometown is surrounded by mountains, but I've never seen anything like these arches, so I wanted to start there. I really love painting abstract landscapes, and I thought the arches were a new wonderful thing to include in them. So I made a rough sketch of how I would abstract one of the arcs, and then I erased my pencil lines a little bit to make them lighter, and I started to paint. I wanted to use pinks and purples and all of these colors that I saw in the beautiful sunset photos reflected on the stones. I was just painting lines in the hopes that as I work, I would find out how to paint that hole in the middle that represented my abstraction of the arches. The more I painted, the more it looked like a circle in the middle of the page. Then I painted the sky bright blue to match the clear, beautiful skies I saw in the pictures, and then I was back to painting lines on the bottom of the page. I was still not sure how this was going to come together, but I thought I would just continue the process and see where it would take me. Once the first layer of paint dried, I started to make some lines darker, trying to give it more definition. It wasn't looking horrible, but it wasn't good either. Maybe adding lines would rescue it. First, I tried making the lines brown, but that wasn't working for me, so I got my black outlining pens and tried again. I outlined the circle, and that was a bad call. It was looking terrible. It made no sense to me, but again, I tried my best to avoid having an artistic tantrum, and I carried on trying different things like drawing little parallel lines and drawing more and more on top, trying to ignore the elephant in the room. I kept telling myself to trust the process and carry on, but this time I just couldn't do it. I could not keep the artistic tantrum in check, so I just got some paint and covered everything. Yeah, sometimes I just can't. No amount of breathing and positive reinforcement can keep me from not liking something I made. And now I'm understanding that's okay too. We can't be perfect all the time, and sometimes you just need to start over learning from what you learned before. Luckily, it was a sunny day and drying time was short, which helped me relieve my frustration. And it was easy to apply a second layer, and just like that, I was ready to start again. This time I didn't sketch anything. I had a clearer understanding of what I wanted to do, so straighting with my brush, creating the shapes I wanted. At first, it seemed like the watercolor wasn't going to do well on top of the acrylic, but I liked the effect it gave it. I still wanted to paint the arch, but I thought it best to do it from a distance, like I do most of my landscapes. So I painted more lines, organic lines, giving structure to the mountain, and then I just had the top horizon line split naturally into the arc. Like I said, I was worried about how the watercolor would look on top of the rough acrylic background I painted, but I feel that texture worked in my favor so much, and it was really easy to embrace it. It definitely added to the page, so I did what I could to enhance it. When the paint dried, I once again wanted to draw my signature lines on top, so I tried to change things up a bit by doing them with a brown color pencil first, but I was missing the strength of the black lines. So I got the markers again and outlined a few of the paint marks and created a few extra lines. I kept the lines to a minimum since I thought I definitely went overboard with them on my first try, and this time I did not want to mess with that beautiful watercolor effect I got. So I removed my tape, and this is my result. I really love the result and the color palette that I chose after my online research of Grand Junction. And I also discovered I like using watercolor over acrylics. It's definitely a win for me. With that first page done, I wanted to get more info about Grand Junction, so I jumped onto a call with Ryssa to pick her brain a little bit. So if I'm a tourist and I'm like, hey, Ryssa, I'm landing there tomorrow, what's the first thing I should do?
So first thing you should do is we have a lot of hiking trails. Yeah, it's almost like a geode,
Like a
but
giant one, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's so beautiful. I already had Colorado in my bucket list because I want to visit Ashley, but now I
Hmm.
was like, I have to go. It's so gorgeous. It really spoke to my soul with all the landscapes. As you saw, Risa was great. She really walked me through everything you can do in Grand Junction, but I still had a super important question for her. What am I
Okay,
meeting in this
so
trip?
after you do a hike, I would definitely recommend there's several spots that are like less than an hour away that are like hot springs. They're super secret hot
Oh,
springs, so you have to know a local to get to them.
I know one.
Um, yes, I love taking people to our super secret hot springs. But what's awesome is that our entire kind of culture identity when it comes to food is all based on like artisan and homemade. So we have a dairy farm that does homemade ice creams, and so the ice cream flavor changes weekly. We have same thing with pies and cakes and donuts. We have a donut um, a donut place that literally will pair like wines with it. So you have like adult
Yeah.
drink and donuts.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
interesting. I mean, I don't partake on the alcohol with the donuts, but donuts I love, and ice cream is my love language. It's like, I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and interrupt the combo I had with Risa because she truly had me at ice cream. I was so inspired by learning about her local creamery. I wanted to create my dream ice cream too. So I started by sketching a beautiful ice cream cone with 2 scoops because I always get 2 scoops. And because this is fantasy, I added a heart shaped biscuit and an apple slice to decorate it. I really wanted to have an apple slice on it because I love the fact that you can pick your own fruit at local orchards in Grand Junction. Love it. It seems like such an idyllic destination to reconnect with yourself and with life. I also added a bow to my ice cream. It definitely would be such a beautiful gift, homemade with local ingredients, so I thought, why not? And mine would also have a tag that says, Happiness is homemade. Ugh, so cute. Too cute to eat, maybe, but of course, I would eat mine in minutes. Made the drawing lighter with my eraser since I chose to continue using watercolor. And for the bottom scoop, I went for a marbled flavor. I have no clue what the ingredients would be, but it's inspired by the strata lines of my previous page. Wouldn't that be magical? I'm thinking there's a little bit of chocolate laced into that to make it perfect. And this ice cream would somehow balance perfectly with all of the colors that represent all of the flavors I chose. I wanted the heart-shaped biscuit to be like a little waffle cookie, so I painted it with ochre and used a light beige for the apple. Then I thought that deep, sweet, rich marbled ice cream would be better paired with a light fruit flavor on top, so I went for peach, learning that this is another fruit grown locally. I think it would be a very light peach color. I was really feeling purples for this project, so I made the bow purple. And once that first layer of watercolor dried, I went in with a second one to refine details and make some colors darker. Grabbed some color pencils to further define my drawing, and then I realized I should have drawn this biscuit better if I wanted it to be recognizable as a waffle because the lines were not matching. So I just erased the color pencil and turned it into a regular flat biscuit with one side dipped in chocolate. A few more details with pencil, and I thought this needs a solid background. So I taped the border on my page and I started filling that negative space with an acrylic marker. The finish wasn't even and I knew I was going to need a second layer, but right before starting, I changed my mind about the color. It was too dark and competing with my perfect ice cream, so I grabbed some acrylic paint in the perfect color, and yeah, I just put it directly on the page. A big no-no. Bad artist Paula. But honestly, I do this all the time. So I just painted the background again. I like this lighter color much better, and once it dried, I brought the ice cream back to the foreground by going around its outline with colored pencils. I added the writing to the tag and then some much needed highlights with a white marker and a white colored pencil, took the tape off, and that is it. I really love it. It's fantasy, but I still think it does convey the love that goes into making homemade goods. Yeah, after the ice cream, I really wanted to sketch something else involving nature though. But then I remembered I was still a tourist on this virtual trip, and the wheel of mishaps was waiting to make its appearance. Time to spin it. Bad currency exchange. That means monochromatic only. Okay, it's not what I had envisioned, but let's try this. Monochromatic only. Okay, I had my challenge. Cleared my desk while I thought about how to tackle it and what color I would use. Green made sense, yellow too, maybe, but then I remember what Ryssa said about the colors that would represent her town. Deep reds. It had to be red then. I taped the border on my page, and here's the wheel again before I put it back in the suitcase in case you want to see the other challenges that can come from it. You can pause to read through them. I would love to know also if you think all 10 challenges should be available for each episode, or if we should erase or change them as they get picked. Suggestions for the Wheel of Mishaps are welcome. Anyhow, I sketched the landscape very lightly on my page and I activated my watercolors to get started. Maybe I should have used a different medium, but they were already out. I started to mix colors because none of the ones I had were fitting the monochromatic vision I had. Also, I didn't want my lightest shades to look way too pink, so I had to mix other colors in to achieve a different color. I started by filling most of the spaces, trying different mixes for different shades of red. Some looked too brown, but I knew I could layer more color on top as they dried to change them a bit. And I helped those first strokes dry with the heat gun. Then I started layering pure red colors on top to change the shades and help everything read like variations of red. I also painted some clouds in the sky, and I was very nervous about this monochromatic bit, but it ended up being a super satisfying process and I liked the result. Then I moved on to paint the water, and once every part of the page was red and dried, I reached for a marker to do my lines again. You know how I love my lines. Of course, this time using black is out of the question. I do not want to cheat, so I use red acrylic markers to draw lines and add texture and interest to my idea. I thought this time the vertical lines really did add to my abstracted composition. I was happy with the red strokes, so after adding a few more, I pulled the tape off, and here it's my result. I know it's a red landscape, but I really, really like it, and that was unexpected. Moving on, I told you in the intro I wanted to do a special page on this series. I want to create an idea that serves as a souvenir of our virtual traveling, and I want to use the art from that page to create a sticker. A sticker that would go on top of my mini suitcase that I got to keep the special sketchbook and the wheel of mishaps in. The inspiration for this idea came from vintage luggage labels. You know how you see all of those vintage bags covered in stickers of the destinations of where the travelers visited? Well, this is what I want to do for the suitcase I'm keeping my virtual traveling kit in. I want the art of the page to be very graphic and in the style of vintage luggage labels, which were probably screen printed and designed with some color and style limitations. To start, I traced a rectangle in the middle of the page and then I taped a border around it. Then I drew an abstract landscape. I'm just making this one up, no references, but taking things from all of the photographs and videos I saw in preparation for this video. I also chose not to use the actual name of the destination we visited on my design, but a word reflecting how this journey made me feel. For this trip to Grand Junction, I chose the word belong. I chose it because when I talked to our local guide Ryssa, she said that in her hometown you could easily find your tribe, and my research truly showcased that too. When looking at the destination online and planning my virtual vacation, I truly found activities that each of my family members would love that were so varied and so fun. Then, I also chose this word because I personally have this feeling of belonging when I look out at beautiful, impressive landscapes like the ones I see in the pictures surrounding Grand Junction. I get this feeling that everything is as it should, that I'm connected to creation and to God's love. I feel grateful to be living and being part of our wonderful world. So, yeah, belong felt right. I decided to use acrylic markers for this one because I wanted this flat, even look like it's screen printed. And I didn't think much about colors. I just followed the inspiration I had already from creating the previous pages as I filled up the spaces I'd drawn. I got a little lost choosing colors for the foreground, started with a deep red and then switched to a forest green. And of course, I love how easily you can change colors with acrylic markers. I knew this was going to need a second layer of paint to look nice and even, so once that first layer dried, I removed a little bit of the paper shavings that the marker created on the page and gave everything a second pass. While doing this, I changed my mind about a couple of colors, so I made the pink lighter, replaced the purple with red, and completely changed that green area and made it purple. I even went on top of the letters I had so painstakingly drawn. I just suddenly wanted them to be taller. Maybe I should have kept the originals because the ones I drew with the marker are a little bit wonky. Well, I kept them like that, and then I just digitized the page and I printed it at a smaller size on some sticker paper that I cut and, of course, sticked on my suitcase. Yay, my first travel label. I was happy with everything I came up with, all of the new ideas and inspiration I got from my virtual voyage, but now I wanted to see what Ryssa would think of them as a local, so I asked her to jump on a second call. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I lost the image for a second. I just wanted to steal 5 minutes of your time to show you what I came up with. So let me show you the first one. This is like my take on, the rocks on the strata using colors that are very much me. So this was the first one that I did from research without talking to you.
That is gorgeous. Yeah, I recognize that arch. I know that arch
Yeah,
very well.
yeah, I love that there's so many arches. I was so inspired by that. Then the second one, this is inspired by my conversation with you, and it's homemade ice cream. And then I wanted to do another landscape, but like I said, I had to do it monochromatic. And I thought, okay, which color? And when you filled out your form, you said deep reds and purples. So I made it all red.
Actually, no, that is like literally the river bend right next to where
Yeah.
I personally live.
And then the last one, like I said, it's about my feeling of the town because I have a little bag where I'm going to keep this special sketchbook. It's a little suitcase, and I thought I want something as as a memento from my trip. So I made a vintage luggage stamp that I printed based on this drawing. And the word that I chose for Grand Junction is belong. I thought, wow, I feel I really belong here, even as a tourist that hasn't even stepped in Grand Junction yet. So that's the word I chose for your town.
Yeah, that is actually what's going to be funny is that if you do ever come and visit, which, fingers crossed, you'll see a lot of places that like make drinks or ice cream, which by the way, this week's ice cream was hot cocoa and spiced cider.
That sounds so good. So good.
But they all have homemade stickers,
They do?
and you'll be
Ah.
able to find something that looks similar to that, but that would belong here. Like it would literally be at home here. Like that sticker I could see on someone's car bumper or in their window.
Oh, thank you so much, Ryssa. That really makes me happy because I really did enjoy this so much. It was a fantasy trip and I loved it. And well, why I wanted to show you these is because I want to know which is your favorite of the four because I want to send you a print of the one you like the most as a
Oh,
thank you for guiding me through Grand Junction.
oh my goodness. I'm so non-decisive. I love surprises, so surprise me.
Okay.
Legitimately, like I will love all of them. I can picture all of them. And what's
Okay.
awesome is, fun fact, I'll actually be getting my own office here at the end of, or at the beginning of November. So your piece will be one of the pieces that I put up in my office. So
Thank you so much. That truly honors me. I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful to you. It was really. I was really afraid. I have to be honest of this new idea, but after our conversation and I started doing the drawings, I really enjoyed this so much, and you have a great part in that because you were so nice and you explained so much to me. So thank you again.
well, no, thank you. Like I said, I absolutely love your videos. They inspire me quite a bit to do my own artwork and work through um, my own trepidations with my own art, like being like, oh, I'm not as good as, but in the end, I still absolutely, I love it. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
It's been lovely to meet you, and I hope you like the print that will arrive. Oh,
I am
please send me
super,
your
super excited.
okay, and
Oh,
send me your shipping address too, because I don't know
yes,
where to
yes,
ship
I
it.
will.
Okay, thank you so much, Ryssa. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and that you have a
Okay.
marvelous week. It was great
Yeah,
seeing
you
you.
too.
Bye
You
bye.
too.
That was it. I was so grateful. Ryssa liked the pages, but to be honest, I still don't know which one to send to her as a print. So I've created a poll so you can help me choose. Go to my posts and please vote. Also, if you want to be next in this new series, I left a form in the description of this video that you can fill if you're interested. I am going to say goodbye right now, but I'm going to leave you with some footage of my conversation with Ryssa, where she shared a very curious fact about her hometown. And also, if you want to connect with her and learn a little bit more of what she does, I've left that info in the description of the video as well. Thank you so much for watching this far and joining me in this new series. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you're having the most wonderful day. I'll see you next week. Bye. I mean, I'm going to detour a little bit because I cannot stop reading this. You had a headless chicken that lived for 18 months. How is that even
Yes.
possible?
So he's in the Guinness, or the Ripley's Believe It or Not, in the Guinness Book of World Records. His name is Mike. So in my town, my little Fruta town specifically, all of our statues are of chickens and they have no head. Um, so you'll walk in and see a whole bunch of macabre chicken art. And that's because a hunter, or not a hunter, a farmer in the want to say the 1800s, went to cull a chicken for dinner, and somehow the axe swing went perfectly between the cerebellum, so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
survival part of your brain, and the rest of the brain. It basically went directly through that. And so the chicken was able to survive. You know, it started running around. He's like, "Oh, it'll stop," and for several hours it didn't. So it's like, I don't know what to do with this. He called the vet. The vet's like, "Well, no, the chicken's still alive." And so they went on tour with Ripley's Believe It or Not for basically 18 months.
Oh my
And
God.
honestly, he was healthy. The only thing that unfortunately did him in is that they fed him too big of a piece of food.
And that
And he
killed
wasn't,
it.
yeah, and he wasn't able to get it down.
Oh wow. I'm definitely, I need to tell Ashley the story. She's gonna love this.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much again for taking the time, and we'll keep in touch.
yeah, you have a wonderful rest of your day, okay?
You too have a wonderful lunch. We talked about food a lot.
Oh, yeah, I know. Now I'm
I'm
starving.
starving. Yeah. All right. Take care. Bye
Bye.
bye.